Okay, so last meeting class, I have discussed already to you the male reproductive system, and we have our objective to memorize and to um, see the structures of each male reproductive system, and later on the female reproductive system. Okay? At kung ano po yung itsura nila sa slide, and also yung kanilang appearance. And here in this lecture, I will be providing also a cadaveric picture of each organ so that you can um, imagine it and see it, and see the actuality of it. Okay, so on the male reproductive system, we have structures again, just a recall. We have for males, two testes, which is responsible for the spermatozoa and testosterone formation. And of course, we have the penis. Okay, it delivers the semen and the conduit of urine. Ducts, okay, vas deferens, ejaculatory ducts, as well as the urethra. And we'll be focusing also on the glands, okay, that forms the non-cellular portion of the semen. We have two seminal vesicles, one prostate, as well as the two bulbourethral glands. Okay, so for you to see and memorize on the structure, I have provided here the picture. Yan. At kabisaduhin po sana natin ito for the future quizzes. Right? Okay, so this is the histological slide of a seminiferous tubules. So, last meeting, di ba, diniscuss ko yung mga 4 S's natin. The seminiferous. Okay, the root word is there, semin. Okay, and or semini. Siyempre, yung seminiferous tubules, okay, sila po yung napuproduce ng semen. Okay, at ang semen ay binubuo po yan ng seminal fluid as well as the spermatocyte. Okay, and the white appearance, or the reason why it is white, is because of the white blood cells. Okay, at ang appearance ng semen dapat nating malaman for the future urinalysis, seminalysis. Syempre, una, coagulated po yan. Tandaan natin, ang semen ay coagulated po. But after 30 minutes to 1 hour, magliliquify po siya. Okay, magliliquify, and that is normal po. Okay, una, coagulated, malapot siya, viscous siya. Pero after 30 minutes, okay, magiging watery siya or liquid siya. That is normal semen class. Okay? Another picture, katabi lang po ni seminiferous tubules ang ating Leydig cells. Okay, so pinakita ko na ito sa inyo noon, class, no? Kung paano yung itsura ng spermatozoa inside. Okay? So the electron microscope, para lang makita ninyo, ito yung sinasabi natin na together. Pag mag-isa niya, tuge, pero pag marami sila, together. Okay? So they are millions po. Okay? In the male, okay, gonads. And of course, we have the testes. Of course, it is a paired organ located in the scrotum with a surrounding structures, tunica albuginea. Please memorize the nature of each tunica as well as mediastinum. Okay, so for the tunica albuginea, it is dense, irregular, collagenous connective tissue, capsule surrounding each testis. For vasculosa naman, tandaan nyo dyan ang loose connective tissue. And for mediastinum testis, tandaan nyo meron siyang thickened posterior aspect of tunica albuginea. Okay? So ano po ang meron sa testis natin? We have the seminiferous tubules, okay, interstitial tissue, as well as the lobuli testis. So the picture on your right, no? Ganyan po yung anatomy ng testis. Okay? So andyan yung buntot. So makikita natin yung testis ay konektado po siya dun sa epididymis. And as you can see, the body of epididymis are coiled. Okay? Tapos, pag sinabi natin septum, divider po yan. Okay? Ano ang kinocoveran ng septum? or septum, the lobules. Okay? So, lobules po yung mga yan. And inside of that, yung mga Sertoli cells tsaka Leydig cells kung saan na puproduce po yung mga semen. Kaya nga po kapag tinatadyakan po yan, sobrang sakit. Kasi makikita nyo rin, okay, merong mga spermatic cord doon tapos mga blood vessels and nerves. Okay, anyway, kapag nagma-martial arts kayo, ang isa sa mga suggestion, kapag halimbawa, di ba, may mga cases na lalaki ang susubok na mang-hold up sa inyo or mangindam sa inyo, tadyakan nyo agad yung testis. Okay? Talagang nakakahilo yan. Well, according to research. Okay? So, this is the histological slide of the testis. Okay? Gusto ko lang naman na makita ninyo yan, guys. Okay, so pag sinabi natin seminiferous tubules, highly coiled structures in the testis where spermatogenesis occurs. Okay, at ang location po niya ay meron siyang 1 to 4 seminiferous tubules. Okay, it is lined with seminiferous epithelium. Okay, so I guess I discussed this one during our laboratory, and ang flow po niyan mag-start ang tubule sa rete testis hanggang sa epididymis. So, kung babalikan natin yung picture kanina, okay, ganun po yung kanyang ayos. Para nga siyang, yung sinasabi ko noon na merong office, merong manufacturers that is connected to the bridge. Okay, ganun lang naman po yung objective natin. Gusto lang naman natin makita kung yung spermatogenesis, saan ba yung kanyang starting point, saan ba yung kanyang midpoint, at saan yung kanyang end point. Okay, ganun po yun. Alright, so, and as you can see, no, dapat ma-familiarize na natin yung seminiferous tubules, yan yung po yung office, yan po yung manufacturing company, and then, meron pong mga bridges doon, the rete testis, tapos yung duct efferentes, kung makikita ninyo. And then, yung main road, which is, pangalan nating Marcos Highway, will be the epididymis. And then, isipin natin, Cordillera region itong epididymis, tapos ductus deferens Pangasinan region. Okay, para lang mag-gets natin yung kanyang analogy. So pag sinabi natin ductus deferens, di ba? Or deferens, ito po yung ginagawa, ito po yung kinakat doon sa mga lalaki para hindi na nga po magbunga pa ulit. Okay? Ang pagmamahalan, di ba? Ito po ay desisyon ng tao, desisyon ng mag-asawa, desisyon ng mga lalaki. Okay? Vas deferens, yung kinakat. Ang tawag po dyan ay vasectomy. Okay, so ito po yung histological slide naman po ng spermatogonia. Okay, so yung mga yan na nasa label, aaralin po natin. No? Okay, so let's proceed on the spermatogenic cells. It is found within the seminiferous epithelium from the basal layer to the lumen. It has stages, okay, wherein the stem cells are divided mitotically. As we remember during the prelim, sana maalala pa natin yung mga mitosis, meiosis, di ba? Mitosis, my head, my knees, my shoulders. Anyway, that's a mnemonic, no? Pero mitosis, okay, 2 daughter cells, meiosis, 4 daughter cells. Okay, so ganun lang. Kung alam natin ang idea ng mitosis, meiosis, those are the stages that occurring also in the spermatogenesis. Okay, so we have the different types. Okay, so we have type A, dark spermatogonia. It is located at the basal layer. You just memorize the appearance. Okay, darkly stained condensed chromatin. Kasi kapag may mga chromatin at saka darkly stained pa siya, 'di ba? Anong ibig sabihin pag may mga chromatin pa? Nasa active phase pa yung mga yan. Okay? And nasa mitotic phase pa siya. Okay, so nakuha kasi may mga presence pa ng chromatin. Okay, 'di ba 'yun yung proteins, okay, na basis natin kapag mayroong cell division. Tapos 2 type A pale kasi na lesser na yung chromatin, no? And please memorize that type A pale AP, okay, maintain the transit amplifying population. It is more metabolically active. Yun lang naman yung dapat nating malaman. And then, third, we have the type B, spermatogonia. Sir, pag type B na siya, you just memorize the nucleus, round, slightly darker, tapos, it is a terminal mitotic division na. Anyway, what we do naman kasi in the near future as histotechnicians, okay, has histotechnics, ang basis natin lagi ay, syempre, yung nucleus, the cytoplasm. So, we'll be focusing on their appearance dun sa stain. Pag pa ito ni-stain ko, sobrang dark ba niya? Sobrang colored ba niya? Okay? Pale ba siya? Kasi usually, kapag makulay siya at kapag sobrang yun nga, yung stain niya tapos sobrang dami pa niyang protein, active phase pa lang yan. Okay, di ba? Kaya nga pinag-aralan natin nung prelims, yung mga parts sa cell division, yung mga mitosis, may mga tubules, okay? Yung mga terminologies na ginamit natin noon indicating, okay, that this cell division is active. Okay? Halimbawa, if we saw that the cell has large nucleus, it means it is immature. If the cell, okay, becomes, or if the nucleus becomes smaller, it means the cell is already mature. Okay? We have also primary spermatocytes, secondary spermatids, and spermatozoa. Okay? To be familiarized by you class. Tandaan lang natin, kapag primary spermatocytes, it has visible chromatin. Secondary, it undergo meiosis too. And spermatids, they are immature and round elongated. And spermatozoa, of course, the presence of head, midpiece, and the tail. So ito po yung histological slide. Okay, we have also spermiogenesis. This is the final phase of spermatogenesis, where round spermatids transform into mature spermatozoa without further cell division. It involves morphological and structural changes to form the functional sperm. So, our objective is to familiarize on the pictures, no, or the structures, images of the following stages ng sperm. Okay? Bakit may ulo siya? Bakit may buntot siya? Kasi, yung spermiogenesis, nag-start muna yan sa Golgi phase. Ang i-highlight ninyo, bilugan ninyo, yung acrosomal vesicle. Okay? Na galing sa Golgi apparatus. Second, it will develop centrioles. Okay? Ano ba yung mga centrioles? Parang string attached. Okay? Mga sinulid po yan. Yan ang rason kung bakit may flagellum. Okay? And at the Golgi phase, it has a small pro-acrosomal granules that fuse to form the acrosomal cap. Okay? Acrosomal cap, ito na yung helmet at ulo ng sperm. And after Golgi phase, the second phase will be the cap phase, where the nucleus begins to condense. The acrosomal vesicle flattens, okay, and the orientation of developing sperm becomes evident. Nakuha? The third phase will be the acrosome phase, where the nucleus elongates and the chromatin condenses. Okay, our keyword there is the cytoplasm now begins to shift toward the tail region. The mitochondria migrate toward the developing midpiece. Okay? And lastly, we have also the maturation or the spermatid phase. Pagka spermatid phase na siya, okay, the excess cytoplasm is phagocytosed by the Sertoli cells na. Okay? Meron ka ng fully formed flagellum, tail. Okay? And the mature spermatozoa are released into the lumen of the seminiferous tubule. Kung yung, maalala nyo pa yung picture kanina, para silang mga bayek, okay? Kung Ilocano kayo, alam niyo yung bayek, di ba? Na ready na umalis doon sa kanyang bahay, tapos lalangoy na. Okay, spermiation ang tawag po doon. So, para maalala natin, ito po yung kanilang itsura. Spermatid, Golgi hanggang sa maturation phase. Lahat po tayo ganyan ang itsura. Okay? Maniwala kayo sa hindi, bago tayo naging gwapo at magaganda, lahat tayo ganyan yung itsura. Okay? So, meron na tayong head, meron na tayong neck, meron na tayong midpiece. What did you notice? Okay? The head resembles the brain. And starting from the neck until the end piece, it resembles our spinal cord. Na-imagine nyo ba? Kaya ganyan yung itsura niyan kasi yan po yung design ng Diyos sa atin. The head, okay, pag yan nag-mature, yan yung brain. Okay, and of course, we have the neck. Right? And from the midpiece up to the end piece, that is the spinal column or spinal cord. Okay? Did you notice that? That's the beauty of science and our creation and we as humans. Okay? So, 1/3 yung measurement ng acrosomal cup. Next, we have the Sertoli cells, of course. Taga-suporta, bigay ng nutrient sa barrier ng blood testis. Siya po ang may function po niyan. And also, phagocytosis. It is also responsible for the hormonal regulation. Okay, next we have the intratesticular genital ducts. Okay, class, you need to memorize and reflect on or familiarize on the facts about the tubuli recti. Okay, kasi more on memorization lang naman to, at ito ay kayang-kaya ninyo, sobrang galing ninyo dito. So the function of tubuli recti is to collect the sperm from seminiferous tubules and it direct the sperm toward the reti testis. Okay, ayan. So what is a reti testis? Reti testis is a central mediastinum testis. Okay, please highlight the simple cuboidal or low columnar epithelium. It has also apical microvilli for fluid absorption. Okay, it has anastomosing network of channels. When we say anastomosis, iba't iba ang pathway, connected siya. Ganun po. Okay? And the function is to transport the sperm from straight tubules to efferent ductals. It also absorbs the testicular fluid to concentrate the sperm. Okay? Please memorize also the ductally efferentes testis, 10 to 20 coiled tubules. It is non-ciliated columnar cells that absorb the fluid to concentrate also the sperm. It has also ciliated columnar cells to propel the sperm toward epididymis. Okay, yan po yung kanilang itsura. Next, we have the extratesticular genital ducts. Ang epididymis, okay, main function is to sperm maturation and storage. It is highly convoluted tubule, 4 to 6 meters in length, but coiled into 7 centimeters on the posterior aspect of each testis. So imagine, no, kung gaano kahahaba yung mga naka-coiled inside us. Okay? It has regions, the head, the body, and the tail. Memorize also the other names. Okay, for the head, of course, the recipient of the sperm. Okay, the body is identified as the long coiled segment. The tail is identified as the one, okay, that stores and maturates the sperm. For the lumen and epithelium, it is lined by pseudostratified columnar epithelium with different types of cell. Okay, kindly memorize the structure and identification of each cells as well as their function. Okay, so ito po yung kanilang itsura. So ano ang function? gain motility, fertilization, okay, sperm storage primarily in the tail, secretion and absorption, stereocilia. It absorbs the excess fluid and secretes substances supporting sperm viability. Again, sa seminal fluid analysis, ang mga titignan natin dyan ay yung tinatawag natin na sperm motility, sperm morphology, okay, and also their sperm volume. Yan. Para lang meron tayong highlight. Ano ba si medtech? Paano ba natin as medtech? Ano ba yung significance nito bilang mga medtech? Okay? Pagka may nagpa-seminal fluid, syempre tignan mo ang kanyang volume, concentration, morphology, motility. Kapag kabisado nyo na ang principle ng urinalysis, ganun din po yung procedure na gagawin natin sa seminal analysis. We're going also to measure the pH as well. And also we're going to observe kung ano nga ba yung direction niya. Tapos doon sa ating seminal fluid, merong mga numbers po dyan. Category natin, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay? Tapos titignan natin kung watery ba siya. Kung dalawa ba ang ulo niya, isa yung ulo niya. Ganun lang naman. And then we're going to correlate each method. Kuha po. Okay, next, we have the ductus deferens. It is the continuation of the epididymal tail running in the spermatic cord to the ejaculatory duct. Okay? The word jacul, nakuha po dyan sa ejaculatory duct. Okay? It's not a slang term. Okay? Kasi tignan nyo, yung root word ng ejaculatory, jacul. Kaya pag sinabing jacul, talagang maglalabas ka ng semen. And I do hope wag natin itong tawanan kasi syempre, I believe it's normal. It should be normal for us and open-minded na pag-usapan pa ang bagay na ito. Kaya nga, ang main function niya is sperm propelling. Okay? So ito, ano yung tissue na meron sa kanya? Epithelium. Pseudo-stratified columnar epithelium with stereocilia. Okay? And the principal cells are responsible for absorption and secretion. Nakuha? And that is the illustration, histological slide of stereocilia. Ano yung muscular layer? Tatlo. We have the inner, middle, and outer. Okay? The connective tissue is surrounded by a thin layer of loose fibroelastic connective tissue for the structural support. So, para ma-realize natin, ito po ang kanyang itsura. Okay, next we have the structure ampulla. Of course, this is red in nature. But actually, I'm kidding. Ampulla lang kasi. It is a dilated terminal portion of the ductus deferens. So, nandun po siya sa may malapit sa prostate gland. It is a highly folded mucosa with a thickened epithelium. Ano ba ang purpose niyan? Temporary sperm reservoir before ejaculation. Okay? Temporary sperm reservoir. Ibig sabihin, bago yung another cycle ng spermatogenesis, meron nang naka-reserve. At ang may reason nun ay si ampulla. Okay. So, this is the clear anatomy picture of the male. Yan. So, tignan natin yung ejaculatory duct ngayon. The ejaculatory duct formed by the union of ductus deferens and seminal vesicle duct that passes through the prostate. Okay? So, makikita natin dito above, we have the urinary bladder and we understand it is transitional epithelium or they are transitional epithelium kasi nga pwede silang maging flexible, maging adaptive doon sa large volume, okay, and that is the design of the urinary bladder. And as you can see, the urinary bladder is connected to the urethra of the male. Urethra daluyan. And as you can see also in the picture na yung urethra ay palaman or sandwich ng prostate pagkatapos konektado din siya dun sa um, bulbo-urethral glands. Okay, may bulbo-urethral glands. Kung magmumula tayo sa urinary bladder hanggang doon sa may Cowper's gland dito sa may part na to, sa may end also sa may penis, ganyan po kahaba ang daluyan, ang lagusan ng urethra naming mga lalaki. Okay, unlike kasi sa babae, 'di ba, tatlo ang butas tapos magkakalapit pa yung urethra, yung sa puwet, tapos doon sa may vaginal, and then also doon sa may urethral. Tatlo ang butas nung babae magkakalapit. That's why they are prone to UTI. Unlike us, tignan ninyo class yung anatomy. Okay, syempre, sobrang haba, no, nung urethra na yan. At yung urethra, okay, naka-sandwich pa nga siya dun sa ating prostate, tapos dun sa penis. Okay? And then makita natin doon yung seminal vesicle. Of course, this one is meron tayo dyan yung i-trace natin yung kanyang pattern, no? From seminal vesicle, coiled siya papunta sa vas deferens. Okay? And then yan, syempre, connected yan sa may testis. Okay. Tapos, yung ejaculatory duct nasaan? Ayun. Tignan ninyo yung itsura ng ejaculatory duct. Okay? So, the ejaculatory duct, syempre, konektado siya dun sa may seminal vesicle. Kaya nga kapag ka naiihi kayo, okay, sometimes, nauuna yung ejaculation bago yung ihi. Or pwede ring umihi kayo bago mag-ejaculation. Kasi, meron tayong muscle dito sa may bandang urethra, no? Nagko-close yan during ejaculation. Kaya, after ng ejaculation, mag-o-open siya, saka doon ka na iihi. Okay? So, just to show you lang the anatomy. Okay? So, for the structure, column epithelium po yan, and then, it transport the sperm and seminal fluid into the prostatic urethra. Okay, what are the accessory genital glands? The male reproductive system has 5 accessory glands: paired seminal vesicle, okay, paired single prostate gland, and also paired bulbourethral glands, also known as the Cowper's glands. Okay, for the seminal vesicles, it is located at the posterior to the bladder, lateral to the ampulla of the ductus deferens. The structure is highly coiled tubular glands, lined by pseudo-stratified columnar epithelium with secretory cells. It is surrounded by smooth muscle for peristaltic expulsion. Okay, your seminal vesicles also is responsible for making the seminal fluid alkaline. Kaya pag tinanong, ano ba ang pH ng tamod? Ano ba ang pH ng semen? Okay, it is alkaline. And the details of it, you will learn that once you go to your urinalysis. Okay? CM para or ANOR BF kung tawagin. Napaka-interesting po yan na subject. Okay? Kaya ano ba ang pH ng semen? Alkaline po siya. Okay. Ano ba ang mga makikita mo dyan sa semen? Rich in fructose. Take note, fructose is a sugar, right? It has the same characteristic with the glucose. In short, they are monosaccharide in nature, and monosaccharide are the ones absorbed by our cells as a source of energy. Okay? Kaya may possible questions kayo. So, ibig sabihin, can we use fructose as a source of energy? Okay? Syempre, yes. But, our sources will be from the fruits that we eat outside. But you have a choice, you have a free will if, you wanna try a fructose from the other sources. However, I'm saying this because fructose is also a monosaccharide in nature. Diba? It is viscous as well. Okay? Next, prostaglandins. Okay? Tapos, meron tayo dyang clotting proteins. So, proteinated yung semen. And please memorize that there are 60-70% of the seminal volume. Okay? Yan po yung approximate na nailalabas. Okay? At nako-collect natin. Okay? Yan, yung vas deferens. Okay, so ano yung function? By the way, just to highlight and give emphasis, fructose is the source of energy ng sperm cell for sperm motility. Okay, class ha. Please take note, ang basis natin ng motility, kung masigla ba yung sperm cell mo, fructose. Okay? Kasi yung mga normal cells natin sa body, they use glucose. And glucose came from anything, okay, from the external environment. Okay? Yung mga kinakain natin or ininom natin. Siyempre, pag punta yan sa tiyan, sa GIT, mako-convert into monosaccharide. However, the sperm cell has the source of energy naman, fructose. Okay? Fructose. Pag mahina ang motility, kulang sa prutas, kulang sa fructose. Nakuha? Next, it facilitates the sperm transport. Okay, prostaglandins are the one, okay, help in the sperm movement. Next, we have also the sometimes no, ang ating sperm alkaline. Bakit sila alkaline? Kasi doon sa once they meet the vagina, no, the environment of vagina is acidic. Okay? Ang galing nga nung design. So be open-minded. Ang galing nung design kasi pagka yung semen pumasok doon sa mismong vagina na ang nature ay acidic, okay, manyu-neutralize sila. Kaya yun ang design ng sperm. Kailangan meron silang alkaline protection. Because the alkaline protection is responsible for their viability. Para sila magtagal, para sila mabuhay, alkaline yan. Para pagpasok nila doon sa vagina, acidic yan. Okay? Meron sila at pwede silang makasurvive inside. Though, there are sperms who died or dies pagpasok pa lang. Kaya nga millions nakuha nyo class, kaya nga millions ang pumapasok kasi lagasan talaga yan. 'Di ba? From million, matira-matibay po yan. From from millions to thousands, tapos to thousands to hundreds, and to hundreds to one. At ikaw na nabubuhay ngayon, ikaw ang DNA, okay, that reaches the egg. Okay? Sabi nga nila, bakit kaya daw zygote ang tawag sa union ng sperm at ng egg? Bakit hindi na lang sperm silog? Okay? Well, kidding aside, totoo nga naman, kapag kayong sperm nag-meet dun sa egg or ova ng babae, mabubuo ka na. At tayo, ikaw, ngayon, ang nagwagi sa paunahan sa karera. Nakuha, guys? At ang identity na meron doon ay nagme-medtech at magme-medtech. Nakuha? Kaya medtech ang nanalo sa paligsahan. Okay? So, another function, yun nga, neutralization. Alkaline, neutralize the acidic environment of the vagina. Okay? For the clinical notes, of course, the infection or inflammation, okay, it can impair fertility. Tapos, meron tayong obstruction, may reduce semen volume, sperm motility. You will learn on your urinalysis that ang sperm ay pwede pong maging, pwede yung patayin sa loob ng katawan ng babae. Lalo na kapag ang involved dyan ay mga immune-related disorders. Na kung saan, kapag infected or merong antibody yung female at kapag pumasok yung sperm, the body, okay, of the female will treat the sperm as if it is a pathogen. Kaya may mga cases na hindi ka nagbubuntis because of immunologic problem or immunologic disorders. Okay? So, yun po yung mga papag-usapan natin. Siyempre, kailangan muna tayo, orientation muna tayo. Okay? Next, of course, we have the prostate gland. Okay, prostate gland is the largest accessory gland in the male reproductive system. That surrounds also the urethra. Of course, it is responsible for semen production and sperm activation. Nakuha po. At class, ano ba ang significance natin? Ano ba ang dapat nating malaman bilang mga future medtech sa prostate gland? The prostate gland class, okay, has a prostatic enzyme. Again, the prostate gland has a prostatic enzyme known as the ACP or acid phosphatase. Now, what is the relevance of ACP in our discussion? ACP can indicate damage because ACP enzyme, okay, causes, or as we know that when it leaks, there will be or there is a cell damage. So in the cases of prostatitis or inflamed prostate class, okay, pag nakita natin doon sa result, merong positive, okay, ACP, tapos ang correlate niya hirap sa pag-ihi, that could indicate prostatitis. Anyway, there are plenty of sources ng ACP class. The following are RBC, platelets, okay, liver, okay, blood, and the prostate. That's why sabi ko indicatory. Kaya nga bilang mga medtech, magko-correlate lang tayo. Kasi nga ang distribution ng ACP madami sa blood, okay, sa prostate, sa platelets, okay, tapos doon mismo sa liver. Okay, yan ang kanyang distribution. You will get me once you go to your CC2. Okay? Now, if of course the context is in the case of prostatitis, male, matanda, hirap sa pag-ihi, medyo naiihi pero hindi naman naiihi. Okay? Ang gagawin natin medtech, perform urinalysis and then perform also yung kanyang blood chem and then i-correlate natin. O may ACP ka, may ACP, tapos may increased ACP. O, i-correlate mo ngayon. Ito ba ay related dun sa kanyang prostatitis? Paano kapag ka, kasi ang prostatitis can be also linked to kidney disorder or kidney damage. Okay? Yun po yung papag-aralan ninyo sa urinalysis. Kasi ang mga indikatory naman ng damage, pag prostatitis, dapat syempre sa ihi ng lalaki may RBC. Tama. Kasi alangan naman na madami ang red blood cell sa lalaki. Hindi naman sila nire-regla. Nakukuha nyo ba yung point ko? Syempre kapag sa babae, normal na umihi ng red kasi nga minsan nire-regla sila. Okay? Pero ang lalaki na may TNTC o bibihira na red blood cell doon sa kanyang ihi ay medyo questioning, alarming po yan. Okay? So, ganun ang gagawin natin ng mga medtech. Nakuha? So, yun lang, sinishare ko lang yung mga possible ways para lang magets natin yung relevance ni prostate gland. Okay, sa ating course. Pero syempre, histology tayo, tapos histopathology, dapat aware din po tayo sa kanyang structure. Yan, meron siyang mucosal glands, meron din siyang submucosal glands, okay? At meron siyang main glands. Okay? Next, yan. I just want to emphasize and highlight on the primary sources of enzymes such as the citric acid and the PSA. Okay, another is the prostatic antigen. Ayan. Pwede rin niyang indikatory ng cancer sa prostate. Kaya yung PSA, hindi po yan Philippine Statistics Authority. That is prostate specific antigen. Kasi kapag meron kang prostate specific antigen, syempre pwede mo na yung associate sa inflammation. In a chronic cases, that is prostatitis din. So, di ba, nakita niyo yung relevance? Nakita niyo yung relevance ni IS at saka ni CC2? Basta may enzyme leakage, cellular damage. At pag may cellular damage, mayroong inflammation. At kapag may inflammation, of course, okay, it could be pathogenic, it could be bacterial, okay, it could be immune. And once there is always a damage or inflammation, syempre, may mga antigen dyan. At dapat kapag ka may antigen, merong antibody. Okay? Kasi ang hahanapin natin dyan ay yung antibody-antigen complex. Nakuha po? Next, please memorize the tissue epithelium. Okay? Please memorize also the following secretions. Yan. Yung citric acid, para po yan sa nutrient ng sperm. Di ba ang citric acid ay matatagpuan din sa mga canned goods, dun sa mga fruits, di ba? Tama ba ako? Canned goods or fruits lang. Okay? The acid na matatagpuan sa mga prutas. Kaya nga healthy na kumain ng prutas. Okay? Kasi yung citric acid, mabuti po yan sa sperm. Next, proteolytic enzymes. Okay? It is responsible for liquefaction. Yan din yung isang purpose ng enzymes. Okay? Kaya enzymatic din. Di ba? Nutritious ang semen. Okay? May mga another nutrient na naman siya, inorganic element, zinc. Yung zinc para saan? It stabilizes the chromatin. PSA para saan? Okay? It liquefies also the semen for sperm motility. Next, acid phosphatase is responsible for forensic studies. Okay? Mga cases ng rape. Okay? Yan yung mga purpose ng acid phosphatase. PSA, liquefies semen. Paano pag yung semen, 2 hours na, coagulated pa rin? Anong problema? PSA. Kasi may mga cases tayo, semen, 2 hours na, 3 hours na, coagulated pa rin siya. Meron din naman yung mga cases na watery. Di ba ang normal kanina? Coagulate muna bago mag-liquefy. Correct? Yan po yung relevance niya. And of course, we have the bulbourethral glands. The small pea-sized compound tubulo-alveolar glands. It is lined by simple columnar or cuboidal epithelium. Okay? And it is clear, mucus-like fluid released during sexual arousal. Ito yung tinatawag na pre-ejaculate. Sa slang term, pre-cum kung tawagin. Okay? Yung slimy na clear fluid, okay, bago yung sexual arousal. Again, maging open-minded tayo dito, class. Okay? Kasi may nagtanong sa akin noon. Sabi niya, "Sir, nakakabuntis po ba ang pre-cum? Nakakabuntis po ba ang pre-ejaculate?" Okay? I have conducted researches. Some are saying, as long as there is one sperm doon sa pre-cum, pwede ka mabuntis. But, as I reflect, di ba pinag-aralan naman natin ang maturation ng sperm? Though, pwede natin niyang i-consider kasi nga meron tayong sperm reservoir sa may ampula, tama? At yung mga sperm reservoir sa ampula, okay, pwede kasing sumama sa bulbourethral glands. Okay? So, yung mga nasusway, pero majority naman kasi ng semen talaga dapat ejaculate. Kasi makita naman natin sila, di ba, sa sperm, ano sila, basta pag nag-mature na sila, pupunta sila sa ampula, reservoir yan. Pagkatapos, yung iba, nandun pa naman sa may Sertoli cells, di ba, yung nakasuot pa sila sa helmet nila, di pa sila aalis, di pa sila gagalaw-galaw. Pero kapag nag-mature na sila, pupunta sila sa may ampula na part, and they will become ejaculate reservoir doon. At pwede nga silang sumama doon sa may bulbo or precum, sabi nila. Okay? But if you wanna try, syempre, it's all stick pa rin naman sa experience. Okay? May mga cases naman, according to researches, na hindi naman. Pero may mga cases na nagsasabi, meron. Okay? So, it can be both. Okay? So, pre-ejaculate known as the precum. Okay? C-U-M. Okay, please memorize also the secretory tubules, simple columnar, simple cuboidal. Okay, ano ba ang characteristic niyan? Mucus secreting. Siyempre, mucus, okay, para maging madulas, para maging malapot, yun yung purpose ni bulbourethral gland. Also, it neutralizes, class, the traces of acidic urine in the urethra to protect the sperm. as well as it secretes lubricating mucus to facilitate the sperm. Basta pag medyo madulas, tapos medyo yun nga, web-like siya, that is the bulbourethral prior to the sexual intercourse. Pero ang basis naman talaga, kung ikaw ba ay nakakabuntis, okay, or makakabuntis, dapat ejaculate talaga, hindi pre-ejaculate. Ito yung histology ng itsura ng bulbourethral gland. Para lang po ma-familiarize kayo. Okay, ito na yung part ng penis. Okay, the external male, or what we call the copulatory organ, that is responsible also for urination and sperm delivery. It is adaptive on erection and ejaculation. Familiar na tayo dito. Bakit nga ba itong penis ay syempre merong erection? Kasi nga parang sponge lang yan. Try nyo mamaya pag naghugas kayo sa inyong mga bahay, yung sponge ilagay ninyo dun sa i-soak ninyo dun sa water. 'Di ba yung sponge bibigat? Tapos pigain nyo. Anong mangyayari sa sponge? Lalambot siya. Okay? Then ilubog mo ulit sa tubig. Anong mangyayari? Bibigat. Parang ganun din itong penis. Kaya mayroong erection kasi pag yung blood pumunta doon sa spongy portion ng penis, okay, syempre talagang bibigat siya. Okay, may erection siya. Maninigas siya. Okay? Yun ang purpose. Kasi makikita natin dito na merong mga corpuses. May mga corpuses yung penis. Okay? Ito yung mga regions. Be familiarized with the regions. I will not discuss them one by one. Okay, ito yung tinatawag ko na parang sponge part dun sa penis. Kung hatiin mo yung penis, corpora. Yung mga corpus na yan. Okay? Yan yung mga corpus cavernosum, corpus spongiosum. Okay, yan po yung mga responsible kung bakit may erection at bakit tumatayo ang penis. Okay? Tapos sabi, mamamatay ka ba kapag pinutulan ka ng ari? Hindi. Okay? Mawawalan ka lang talaga ng gana. Pero mabubuhay ka pa rin kasi, as you can see, on the anatomy, kahit ikat yung penis, mabubuhay pa rin yung tao. Pero magiging walang gana na lang siya. Kasi, as you can see, di ba, related ang body natin. Ang isa na damage, maapektuhan ang lahat. Okay, the erectile tissue is composed of the vascular sinusoids that is lined also by endothelium, surrounded by tunica albuginea and dense fibrous connective tissue with a role to provide a rigidity. Okay? So, as you can see, ganyan po yung itsura ng ating penis. Okay, so please memorize and familiarize on the stages of erection. Okay? We have the flaccidity, ayan, softness. Pagkatapos, tumescence, and then rigid erection, tapos detumescence. Okay? Detumescence, siyempre, pagtapos na yung sexual intercourse. Okay? Alright, so here are the following sample classification ng erection of the penis. Okay. For the male urethra, okay, it runs through the penis. It is lined by pseudostratified columnar epithelium except for the external because it is stratified squamous. Okay? Male urethra is responsible also for urine and semen. Okay, the medical significance of our discussion is related to the erectile dysfunction or the inability to achieve or maintain an erection sufficient for satisfactory sexual performance. Right? Okay, so be familiarized with the following. I will not discuss them one by one. Siyempre, bibihira lang naman kasi na cases yan. Kung gusto nyo talaga ng detalyado, maging medical doctor kayo, tapos mag-urologist kayo. Anyway, just to familiarize on The factors affecting erectile dysfunction, pwede rin po yung neurological causes. Yan, pag tumatanda ka na. Tapos, pwede siyang relate sa diabetes mellitus. Kaya nga, dapat habang bata pa tayo, huwag tayong maging diabetic. Kasi at the end of the day, pagka yung body natin humina, siyempre ang mangyayari, maapektuhan ang erection. Next, low testosterone levels. Siyempre, pagka meron kang dysfunction, ang libido, wala din. Pwede rin po yung psychological. Normal naman lahat, pero dahil anxious ka, depressed ka, especially relational problems, pwede kang magkaroon ng erectile dysfunction. Next, we have also drug-induced. Antihypertensives, okay? Drugs. And of course, we have the Peyronie's disease. Okay? The one that causes penile curvature. Yan po yung tawag sa kunyan. Okay, ito po yung kanyang itsura. Peyronie's disease. Curvature.